Hey, this is Hans from Request for Music with a video about the module KLIKZ that has just been newly available in the store. KLIKZ in itself is a flexible metronome. So that means that you have a couple of inputs to run, reset or clock the KLIKZ module, and that underneath you have the way that it sounds. So you have either a click or a wood or a beep sound, or for the rest you have the options of changing the time signature, so 3/4 or 4/4 or 5/8, 6/8 and so on, up to 12/8, and then for that specific time measurement or time signature you have group arrangements of the amount of clicks that you get. So I've got it set up here with two MEMS modules. So this one's connected, hooked up to the mixer here, and the mixer is hooked up to the module. So standard sound would be something like, let's double click this and set it to 120 first. So at 120, if I run it, you get something like this. So that's a basic standard kind of click sound, and of course you can, I've got the level up already, so I can put it up here a bit. The length is can be set for the click, and actually in this case it's already set at 2 groups, so let's specify this to be just 4/4 with 4 notes. So that means that the accent level is on the 1, right? So I've 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, that kind of thing. You have the tempo, you have the length for the notes. So, and as I said, I have click, I have a wood, and I have a beep. So that's up to you what you like. I'll put it in click for now. Got the accent, and I've got a shuffle, so that means that if I do something like this, or I can turn it the other way so it comes closer to the step before. So that's up to you. And the level as said. And then there's 4 outputs. The output, normal out, is just a standard click sound, and for the rest you have a step, accent and a subdivision gate. So let's see what we can do with that. So if I'll mute my output from this, and I'll put the step input into the trigger of my first membranes module, and the membranes module is hooked onto the mixer, which goes into the main input. So I have the output going on. So I've got something like this going on then. We should be able to hear it, right? So let's put some more hit in this. So I got this, and that's okay, of course. I could, on the other hand, put something like the accent in, so I only get number 1 in there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is only going to give me 1 because I got it at a subgroup of 4 notes. So if I do instead something like 2 plus 2, I'm going to get 2. And then the second 2 would be a subdivision. So if I take this out and put that into my trigger as well, I get something like this. So let's instead take the other one into the second membranes. So I could do something like this, take the buzz out there. And now the interesting thing, of course, is when you start dividing it differently. You see that if I do something like this, I get a number of groups specified here. So into 2 plus 2, I get 2 groups, so number 1 and number 2. And I can actually switch one of those off to have a rest in that case. So let's take something like 3 plus 1 first. So 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2, 3 plus. And this is also muted in your output. So if I take this on, sorry, my bad. I had that switched onto the step. So only the gate outputs are indeed muted. I'm creating too many modules at some point. I don't even know what I'm doing. So I can still hear what it's supposed to be, and I have this sound on, so that's easier to play along with. And actually, the reason that I built KLIKZ is because I needed it for some other module that I'm working on that needs um, manual clicks that I'll do on a canvas that will be quantized, and it's easier if I have a click on, a metronome click on. So that's why I created this, but it can be used for all kinds of other stuff as well. So let's first of all take the mute off and click it on. So I've got this, and I've got 3+1, but let's take a more difficult one, maybe a 7/8. And as you can see, I have much more options now. I'm going up to sorry, a maximum of 4 groups. So let's say that I do something like 3+2+2. So take the tempo up a bit. To set the mute on. So 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. Because the thing is that it's easier to calculate or work in those kind of groups, in smaller subgroups, when thinking of rhythm separation, so to speak. So if you have something like, let's say that I would like something like 12/8 or 11/8 or something, it's no use counting that as 1 up to 11. It's easier to divide it in any of those groups that I have here, which for an 11 can be already quite a long group. So if I do something like 4 4 2 1, I have 4 groups here, and I can actually mute all of those if I want to. So let's first switch it on again. So this is counting like 1 2 3 4 1 2 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So, and if I want to, for instance, switch the second group off, I can just click that, and you see that it's going to be a rest, and then I've got something like this. So that can be used. Say that I'm going to use my let's say that I'm going to use 2 of those clicks. So I'm going to drag this out, and then it's easier to use a KLIKZ F KLIKZ module and connect those, and maybe even to reset it, because it's even if I have a clock but they have already started, then there will be an offset in the pace, in the clicks, so to speak. So let's also take buttons in there, so I can dial that up. I can hook that up by using a trigger, which is the upwards mode, so it's only triggering, and then take this into my reset, and also take that into the reset for both clicks and for the clock itself, and then take the output of a clock into this one. So now this one's doing that, and the BPM is quite high. But the point is, when you use it like this, you can actually create polyrhythms, because those two will be in sync, but I can change how the division is per port. So this one is doing it at 2 times or at 2.0, so instead of 1, this would be the normal standard rate now with this tempo and so on. And if I take this into 2 and I take this maybe into 3, and this is going, let's see, this is going to that clock, and that is going into that clock. So both of these are worked on in different ways. So let's say that I'm going to take my well, maybe my accent or my subgroups out of this into the second members. Yeah, you're going to have a different kind of functioning that way. This one's on 11/8, so let's switch this on to 4/4 again, to 2 groups. and maybe just take this normal steps. Let's see what it does. Oh, it's not stereo yet. Let's put this in as well. So now those two clocks add different speed, or well, the same speed, because they're both clocked by clocks, and at least they're in sync. But the change lies in the division of those two output ports, and I could still do something like take the probability of one back, so I can change the influence of that clock on that membrane. So there's a whole lot that you can do in that kind of combination. And of course I could actually take this mode out to the run of this. So then if I put this on, it's running and then stopping. So that becomes pretty easy to control everything from one buttons module. So yeah, that's KLIKZ for you. This is as I said, there's a shuffle in there as well. That's new. That wasn't in there yesterday. And if you combine it with a clock, you see that the shuffle in itself is transparent, because the clock cycle, the distance of those clocks, the signals that it's getting in, makes it actually impossible to do that shuffle thing when the clock is connected. So when it's working with an internal clock, so with no clock connection, you'll see that the shuffle knob is going to be active, and otherwise it fades out, and you don't have the option to do that. Anyway, that's KLIKZ. It's in the store at the moment, and I'll be back with new modules shortly, I guess. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye bye.